Hello, this is Emmy the Neat Neats. I'm trying some new technology to record games from my Switch. I apologize in advance because the audio is probably going to sound terrible, which is in part because my voice is at a level of annoyance I have no control over. My vocal cords were fried in a literal fire, so you'll have to excuse me. No audio scrubber can possibly save me. Also, I spent like $50 on this device to capture my Switch games, and I have spent $0 on video editing software. So I am just using freebies that I find on the internet or that came with my laptop. So I apologize for being very broken poor. I get zero money from this, and I have one person on my Patreon. His name is Luke. I'm pretty sure he just feels sorry for me. Anyway, Dragon Quest II. Let's go. Once upon a time, a young hero descended from the legendary warrior Loto, defeated the dreaded Dragon Lord, and restored. Having done so, he set off on a journey with a beautiful young maiden, and together they founded new kingdoms across the world. Each of these kingdoms came to be ruled by the children of the hero and his beautiful bride, and by their children after them. 100 years passed. That's enough time for cousins to become third cousins, I believe. This is the royal castle of the Kingdom of Moonbrook. It lies far to the south of Laurasia. I do not like the name Middenhall. The king and his daughter, the young princess. I'm having to record my audio after the gameplay because I couldn't record during gameplay. That failed to pick up. So, my reading might not be as fast as I hope it is. But anyway, Hargon is lying siege to Moonbrook. Curse thee, Hargon. Then we have but little choice. Muster the castle guards with all haste, majesty. No, not Hawkmen. Daughter, make haste, conceal thyself. No matter what may befall thee, do not grieve. But father... Her hair is blonde. I must send word to Laurasia. Do not encroach upon my inner sanctum. Okay. King has some skills. Beast, invaders, desecrators. Oh no! Grog. Father! Ooh, the whole castle's on fire now. And apparently the princess was the only woman in the entire castle. Kinda weird that a castle full of nothing but soldiers was laid low by a bunch of like Hawkman and one mage. Run for it. Oh, it is sad how he looks behind him to see like the castle in flames. Oh, and he drags himself to Laurasia instead of the Kingdom of Cannock, which would have technically been closer. But nobody relies on those ginger redheads. Zounds? Who says zounds? Is that even an English thing? I bear grave tidings. And bear him quietly, 'twould not do to set the castle astir. Not a highly populated castle, so I don't think you have to worry about that. Just the prince sitting in his chair. Yeah, don't help the guy or anything, just let him stumble forward. The self-styled high priest Hargon makes him sound like a new rap artist. Self-styled kind of man. He must be stopped. Ugh. Dies. Get this dead man off my floor. through thy veins courseth the blood of Loto, legendary hero of the lands. Now, my only child and heir, go forth and kill Hargon. Also, in all 3 castles, you never see a queen. There's no queen in Laurasia. There's no queen in Cannock. Princess never mentions, like, her mom. Why did all the queens die? Well, time to set forth. Why am I wearing goggles? I guess it does kind of make sense, because flying on a giant magical bird, you would probably get stuff in your eye, so you would want to wear goggles. That is not their names. You got their names wrong. I'll give you the proper names. Okay, I can't fit Ginger Cookie, so I guess he'll just be Ginger. I was also disappointed I couldn't fit Ginger Git. That would have been kind of funny. So, Cannock Prince is Ginger. And the princess is, of course, going by her default Japanese name, which is Pudding. And I will only accept her name as Pudding. Yes, that is their names. I must find Ginger and Pudding. Oh, really, Dad? A copper sword? Thanks a lot. Ugh, fruit of my loins. No, thank you. Do not forget to equip your weapons. Which is exactly what the NPC tells me next. And why are you in my castle? Oh, left win. Guess what? It is to the left. Oh yeah, great danger lies ahead of me. Dragon Quest II... Oh, it's the girl who has a crush on you. Oh. I think you're like one of the only women in my kingdom, so your chances of getting with Lauren are actually pretty high. But Dragon Quest II has to be my least favorite in the series. Not because, like, it's a bad game. It's just insanely difficult. Even compared to Dragon Warrior 7, which could literally... You could literally lock yourself out of the game if you leave a shard with Maribel. Dragon Quest II is kind of painful to get through, especially in the beginning. But what's interesting about Dragon Quest II is you don't actually have to pick up the prince and princess. You could try going the game alone if you're absolutely insane. And you would have to be because Lauren here, which is what I named the Prince of Laurasia, I don't like to say Mendenhall, he does not learn any skills or spells. All he can do is hit things. Yeah, if you see me like running into things, it's because the buttons... I like to use the, I don't like to use the button pad, I like to use the stick, and the stick ends up, making me run into walls and stuff. And, like, the areas in Dragon Quest II can be pretty narrow. But another annoying part of this game is just the beginning is a real slog to get through in Dragon Quest standards. Because you're on your own in the beginning. You have no abilities. You have to rely on medical herbs to heal yourself, so you have to spend money. And also, like, big groups of enemies attack you. In Dragon Quest I, it was one enemy at a time. Of course, the remakes, reimaginings of whatever they want to call themselves now, are going to change that. But let's indulge in a bit of nostalgia here. The enemy are defeated. His level may go up, but 0 skills. It's actually really interesting because Dragon Quest Monsters Plus, which is one of the few Dragon Quest manga you can get in English, they actually kind of remark on how the prince, and I died soon after leaving the castle. What is the meaning of this? You gave me a copper sword and no medicinal herbs. Of course, ugh. At least I only die once trying to get to frickin' Cannock. Anyway, yeah, the manga, Dragon Quest Monsters Plus, the hero kind of has his own little, talk about how he feels like less than Erdrick because he never learned any spells. He's only just really good with a sword. Man, I had that manga before the fire. I've been trying to re-buy Dragon Quest Monsters Plus. It's only 4 books. I don't know if there are more books in the series, because it suggests that there's a wider story, and it kind of ends weirdly in 4, so either the author just didn't make any more, or they didn't bother translating anymore after 4. I've heard rumors that they're going to continue the Adventures of Dai, because they seem to stop translating around book 5, but I've heard they're going to pick it up again next year, so I hope that happens, but I don't think Dragon Quest Monsters Plus was that popular. It was definitely a strange manga out of all of the manga to translate. But unfortunately, a lot of Dragon Quest manga is what I meant to say, not Dragon Quest Monsters. A lot of Dragon Quest manga is probably out of print because it's so old. Because there's a Kinokuniya close by to where I live, and I tried to buy the Dragon Quest VI manga. I can't remember the author's name, but it was actually completed. Like, he did the entire story of Dragon Quest VI into, I think, about 10 books. And I tried to get the manga, and the Kinokuniya guy was like, oh, I'm sorry. It was like a Square Enix thing, and I think they stopped making those. The only way you would find them would be like used bookstores in Japan, probably. So I ended up ordering a Dragon Quest X manga, but like everything else, I also lost that in the fire. But yeah, Dragon Quest Monsters Plus is a Dragon Quest manga you can get in English. Of course, the Adventures of Dai are available in English. That's a good Dragon Quest manga, and also if you're just into like shonen action, if you have anyone who loves shonen action but they don't love Dragon Quest, you can try to get them into the series with the Adventures of Dai, maybe. And recently, Kamui Fujiwara's his Loto books are out. He also did a Dragon Quest VII manga, but I don't think we're going to be seeing those in English. We are getting Dragon Quest VII reimagined in English, so I'm kind of hoping maybe we'll see those. But I always heard that Kamui Fujiwara-sama, if I'm saying his name properly, I don't think he ever completed that Dragon Quest VII manga. I mean, out of all of the Dragon Quest games to turn into a manga, that is probably the most insane one. Yeah, I'm rambling. Let's try to focus more on Dragon Quest II. So I'm trying to find the Prince of Cannock. And as you can see, I already died earlier. The encounter rate in this game is absolutely insane. instead of, you know how like Dragon Quest 11 and then the remakes, like 3, have like draconian settings to make the game harder. This game needs easier settings, and one of them is definitely smaller encounter rates, because I swear every 3 seconds you encounter a monster. And it's because you're in the forest and the savanna or the mountain area. No, even in just the regular grass you get attacked all the time. I originally played Dragon Quest II on the Game Boy Color, and I swear that game is even worse. I must have died 3 times before I got Prince Ginger in my party. Unfortunately, can you rename them in Game Boy Color version? I think you're just stuck with whatever 4-letter name they give you in that game. I do like how I was able to name them in this one. Oh yeah, one thing that happens, so after I got out of the fire and got home, my father actually like immediately got me a Nintendo Switch. And like one of the happiest moments when I got home was connecting to the internet and getting my old Switch account back and seeing all of the games that were downloaded onto my Switch, and I could like play those games again. My save data was lost, obviously, because the memory cards were destroyed in the fire. But, like, I just cried tears of joy seeing all of my digital games back. And actually, someone gave me a hard copy of this game. You can buy Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3. Obviously not the remakes. These are the older remakes. Oh, there's so many remakes. So these aren't the newer ones. This isn't the fancy Octopath Traveler one, but this is a remake. But you can buy a physical copy and it includes all the games. But I had already bought all 3 versions of this game, digital copies, back when they were first released. And I was kind of disappointed because I was like halfway through Dragon Quest II again. And I'm like, I have to start over. Ugh. Dragon Quest II is one of the hardest games to start over. But, okay. About to see the Princess of Cannock, who is going to be a playable character in the remake. Who art thou, a playmate of my brother? Geegalls and baubles. Oh. I'm not your brother's playmate, no. He is my male servant. Once I find him. See, like, I'm having difficulty because I'm using the stick trying to get around, like, these really narrow areas. Okay, where is Ginger? He has already set out upon his quest. He is going to the wellspring of the hero. Okay, then I guess I'll go look for him at the wellspring. Yes, you can trust Ginger with me. I swear I will not kill him. He may die, but it won't be by my hands. He may die a lot, unfortunately. Luckily, at least, this game does start you off with a map, because, oh my goddess, it would be so difficult to get around without a map. What's crazy is, I think you could probably play Dragon Quest 1 and 3 without a guide. It would be really difficult, but I think you could. But trying to play Dragon Quest 2 without a guide, I'd say that's pretty much impossible. I would like to see someone who's never played Dragon Quest 2 before try to complete it without any guidance, just to see how long it takes them to self-implode and want to throw the game out the window. Yeah, I had to increase the message speed because, like, I'm gonna be battling monsters every freaking 3 seconds. Yeah, me trying to find the quickest, fastest way to the wellspring. And yeah, I once again apologize for, like, the audio. I'm not good at editing stuff. I don't really have the best editing tools, and I hope I don't die again. Do I die again? I can't remember. Please tell me I have an herb. Yes, I packed herbs. Do you eat them or do you smoke them? If anyone has any tips on how to improve the audio, that would be lovely. If I get people who actually watch this video, I'm so very used to just kind of talking into the void and having nobody ever respond to me. I don't think have any comments on my Dragon Quest Heroes videos, which I can't complete because my PS4 kinda got busted this summer. I think you can probably download Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2 onto a PS5, though I'd have to start completely over. But then I'm like, what's really the point if no one is watching or caring? It's kind of how I feel about my Patreon. My only patron is just my buddy Luke, who just pities me, and I feel really bad for that. I never, like, there's content I want to put on my Patreon, but I never know what people want. I get, like, people who are like, join as free members, but then they never say anything or comment on anything. I don't know what to do. I'll release a video to see if it gets any kind of response, and then the only person who says anything is Luke. And I already bet $50 that Luke is going to be the first person to comment on this video. I don't know what's going to happen if Luke doesn't comment. Who would I give the $50 to? I'm alone. I guess I could give it... to, like, the animal shelter. It would be $50 I would normally spend in, like, Genshin Impact or Honkai Star Rail. Well, actually, the only Genshin Impact character I want is Dragon Boy, whenever they're gonna release Dragon Boy. I was lucky enough to get, what's his name? The Fae guy. I didn't bother pulling for Big Titty Deer Girl. I did manage to get Evil March, and surprisingly, Mihoyo gives you new Dan Heng for free, which is cool. So I don't even know if there are any future characters I want to pull for in those games. And I'm really good at saving my wishes. So even when there is a character I want, sometimes I don't end up spending any money because I just save wishes. I never bother trying to, like, what do they call it? If you pull a character like 6 times, that's like unlocking their ultimate form. I never do that for any of my characters. The only characters who have, like, I guess their true form unlocked would be 4-star characters. And maybe Chi-Chi in Genshin Impact, since she's the pity character. And there's just a dude living in this cave. Okay, can I sleep in your bed? No? Okay. Another thing this game really needed, a faster walk cycle. I feel like my character is going so slow. And also, I am so sick of running into those ugly slugs. Like, if I'm going to be killed and mauled repeatedly by monsters, at least make it cute slimes. Those slug creatures are just, ugh. They're actually slimy. But then, aren't slimes technically slimy? I always imagine slimes to feel kind of like sacks of like cool gel, like when you have like a sports injury and you don't get an ice pack, but you get one of those like moldable kind of cold packs. That's how I imagine slimes to feel like. But in the Dragon Quest Fantasia video, they do make the slimes look like they're covered in like snots. So maybe slimes actually do produce like some kind of mucus. Draggies are cute. Oh, the wellspring of the hero. Oh, hero of legend, grant those who walk the path of the Savior your guidance. Yes, I'm looking for Ginger. Oh, he's not here. Then, I guess I'll go looking for him back at my home of Lore Asia. So, in the Game Boy Color version, Princess Gwaelin's name was Princess Laura. And then in the Game Boy Color version of Dragon Warrior 2, they call Midenhall Laurasia, because it's obviously like named after her. So I don't really like how the new translation changed it back to the old warrior speak of Midenhall. It's just one of the complaints I have. I'm sorry, when it comes to like the Loto trilogy, I think I'm always going to be a Game Boy Color purist. I'll say Erdrick just to make the fans happy sometimes. But in my heart, I am saying Loto. And then, of course, there's the people who are like, well, it's actually Roto in Japanese because the Japanese don't have the letter L. Well, you're a letter L for being such a nerd and telling me that. Game Boy Color version, best version, losers. And anyway, descendants of Roto. You know how many, like, great pieces of Japanese fan art I've seen? And they try to write in English, and they spell, like, the descendants of Rots instead. Although, I guess the descendants of Lot, like, they forget to put the O, so instead of Roto or Loto, it's just Rot or Lots. Rot definitely sounds bad, but Lot is actually a name in the Bible. What was Lot's deal? Was he the guy who slept with his daughters? I can't. I'm gonna have to refresh my biblical lore. I think he lived in a cave, and his daughters tried screwing with him. Yeah, he wasn't the guy who had to go through a bunch of trials to prove his faith, was he? That was Job, right? I can't remember Lot's deal. I'm gonna have to look that up. So, back to Midenhall. Well, that's it for this video. Stay tuned for the next one.